Hey there, deep divers. Ever been on one of those sports betting apps ready to place a bet and boom, that little pop-up asking for your location?
Ah, yes, the location permission prompt happens all the time.
Right. And you might just click allow, or maybe you stop and think, hang on, why do they need to know exactly where I am, like right now?
It seems pretty minor, yeah.
Exactly. It feels like this tiny technical thing. But what if I told you it's basically, well, the absolute foundation of a massive multi-billion-dollar industry?
That's not an exaggeration, actually.
Today, that's what we're diving into, geolocation, and why it plays such a critical, absolutely crucial role in keeping online sports betting regulated. Our mission really is to unpack how this tech isn't just about convenience for you. It's the main pillar holding up compliance, integrity, all that stuff in a market that's just, well, exploding everywhere.
That's spot on. And what's really fascinating, I think, is that without this precise location tracking, the whole legal online sports betting scene just wouldn't work in many places. It couldn't exist.
Wow.
It's like you said, it functions almost like a digital border wall.
Yeah.
It enforces those legal boundaries, but in the virtual world, stops it from becoming this chaotic, unregulated free-for-all.
The digital border wall. I like that analogy.
Yeah, and it's not optional for these operators. It's all about making sure every single bet placed is totally above board. Protects the bettor, protects the system's integrity.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's break it down. When we say geolocation here, it sounds simple, knowing where you are, but you're saying for a sports book, it's more complicated than just a pin on a map.
Definitely more nuanced.
Yeah.
At its heart, geolocation is the platform's ability to figure out your physical location.
How does it do that?
Well, it uses a combination of tech. Things like the GPS data from your phone, which is pretty accurate, or your internet connection's IP address. That gives a general location. Even data from Wi-Fi routers nearby can help pinpoint you.
Huh. Wi-Fi too.
Yep. And in online sports betting, its importance really isn't about convenience at all. It's absolutely central to meeting those strict gambling laws, which can vary wildly, state by state or country by country.
Right. So practically speaking, what does this mean for me if I just want to place a bet? Does it ever get annoying if I'm, say, right near a state line?
It means the system's main job is making sure you only place bets from places where it's legal. Think about the U.S., right?
Yeah.
You've got states like, say, New Jersey, where it's legal. You can bet there, no problem. But then you drive maybe an hour away to another state, maybe like Utah historically, or others where it's strictly banned.
Okay.
The sports books are legally required, mandated, to block any bets coming from those illegal areas. So if you're physically in a state where betting isn't allowed, the app or the website just do a pen, it won't let you put the wager down. Simple as that.
And does that cause issues near borders?
Oh, absolutely. It can definitely lead to frustration. Imagine you live right on the border, maybe Philly like you mentioned earlier, and you used to commute into Jersey just to place bets. The second you cross back over that bridge into PA, if the rules are different, the system knows. Bam. Blocked.
Wow, that's incredibly precise. So, okay, you might be thinking, how on earth does my phone or my laptop know my location that accurately? Especially if I'm just, sitting at my desk.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like magic.
Right? It does seem like it sometimes. But it's less magic. More just a really clever mix of technologies all working together pretty much constantly in the background.
Okay, break it down. What tech are we talking about?
So for mobile, like your phone, GPS tracking is the star. It's super accurate, usually down to a few meters.
Right.
If you're on a desktop or laptop, though, it often relies heavily on IP address mapping. Every internet connection has an IP address, and those addresses are geographically tagged. That tells the sportsbook your general region or city.
Okay, general region, but maybe not precise enough.
Sometimes not, which is where other things come in. There's Wi-Fi positioning systems, WPS, that uses the signals from nearby Wi-Fi networks, your router, your neighbor's routers, to get a much more precise fix on your location, even indoors where GPS might struggle.
Clever. Using Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah. And then there's also mobile network data.
Yeah.
If you're using cellular data, your mobile provider can figure out your location based on which cell towers your phone is connecting to. That adds another layer.
So it's like a team effort, multiple signals.
Exactly. It's rarely just one thing. These systems are constantly running, checking, cross-referencing, all to make sure you are where you need to be for that bet to be legal.
That's way more sophisticated than I thought. It's not just one ping. But what if, things go wrong? Like my Wi-Fi is being flaky, or maybe I forgot to turn on location services in my browser settings. Does the whole thing just fail?
Yeah, good question. Robustness is key, right?
Yeah.
These systems are built with redundancy in mind, precisely because one signal might not be perfect. So if one method isn't available, say location services are off, it'll lean more heavily on the others.
Like the IP address.
Exactly. IP address mapping gives that general area. Then it might cross-reference that with, say, the address you registered your account with, maybe other clues. The goal isn't necessarily pinpointing you to the inch, but being accurate enough to say, yep, you're in New Jersey, or nope, you're definitely in Utah.
So it tries to make its best guess based on what it can see.
Pretty much. It's this constant balancing act, really, between getting the precision needed for the law and not making the user experience a total nightmare, an intricate dance.
Okay, that adaptability is fascinating. Theory's one thing, but let's make it real. How does this invisible guardrail actually, work in practice for someone betting? Give me a scenario.
Okay, sure. Let's say you're in New York, sports betting's legal there. You open your favorite betting app on your phone, want to bet on the Knicks game tonight. The app instantly checks your location using GPS, maybe Wi-Fi too, confirms you're inside New York state lines, and boom, bet placed. Seamless. You probably didn't even notice it happening.
Okay. Easy enough when you're in the right place. What about crossing the line?
Right. Now imagine you live in New Jersey, you bet on your phone all the time. You decide to pop over the bridge into, say, Pennsylvania for dinner, maybe where mobile betting rules are different for non-residents. The moment that app, running in the background, detects you've crossed that state line into PA, it'll immediately block you from placing any new bets.
Immediately, like mid-meal.
Pretty much immediately upon detecting the location change. And usually you get a clear message right on the screen, something like, location check failed. You appear to be outside of a permitted betting area.
Wow.
It's that quick, that direct. Has to be, to enforce the law in real time.
So it really is this constant dynamic check, always watching in a sense to keep things legal. That's quite something.
It is.
So let's zoom out a bit. We've talked to U.S. states, but what about the bigger picture, globally? How does this impact things worldwide?
Well, it's basically the same principle, just scaled up. As more and more countries, or even provinces and regions within countries, legalize online sports betting, geolocation tech becomes the absolute linchpin of the whole regulatory framework.
The backbone, really.
Exactly. It's the backbone. And for the betting companies, the operators, it's not just about ticking a legal box. It's huge for building trust. Players want to know they're using a platform that plays by the rules, that's reliable, secure.
Makes sense. You want to know your money's safe and the game is fair.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And think about the big international platforms, the ones operating in, say, the UK, Spain, Australia, Canada, all at the same time.
Yeah, the complexity must be huge.
Immense. The regulations in each of those places can be wildly different. Geolocation is the only way they can manage that complexity effectively. It ensures that a user in London only sees and accesses the betting options legal in the UK, while someone logging in from Madrid gets the Spanish-compliant version. It's critical for their operations.
Okay, but like any powerful tech, it can't be perfect, right? There must be challenges, hurdles they face.
Oh, definitely. There are a couple of big ones that always come up.
What are they?
First, privacy. It's a recurring theme, isn't it?
Always.
People generally don't love the idea of apps constantly tracking their location, even if it's for a legit reason like placing a bet. It feels intrusive.
Understandably.
Yeah. Now, the legitimate licensed operators are usually very clear in their privacy policies. These state the location data is only used for this regulatory check, nothing else. Not for ads, not for selling data. But still, that concern lingers for some users.
Okay, privacy is one. What else?
The other major headache is VPNs, virtual private networks.
Right. People trying to pretend they're somewhere else.
Exactly. VPNs are designed to mask your real IP address and make it look like you're connecting from a different location. So someone in a state or country where betting is illegal might try using a VPN set to a legal location, like New Jersey, to try and fool the system.
Does it work?
Well, it's a constant cat and mouse game.
Sure.
The sportsbooks invest heavily in technology specifically designed to detect and block traffic coming from known VPN servers. They have to. They can often spot the telltale signs of VPN usage. I remember hearing about someone trying to layer like 3 different VPNs.
Oh.
Yeah, thinking they were being super clever. But the detection systems are getting pretty sophisticated now. It's much harder to get away with on the legal regulated sites than people might think. It puts a lot of pressure on the operators to constantly update their defenses.
Sounds like a tech arms race, almost. Trying to stay one step ahead.
It kind of is, yeah. Staying ahead of those trying to circumvent the rules.
So looking forward then.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to think where this goes next, isn't it? What's on the horizon for geolocation tech in this space?
It is fascinating. I think we're going to see even tighter integration with other security technologies. For instance, biometric authentication.
Like fingerprints, facial recognition.
Exactly. Imagine using your fingerprint or face scan not just to log into the betting app, but potentially as part of the transaction verification itself. It could work hand in hand with the geolocation check.
How so?
Well, it adds another layer. It helps ensure not only that the bet is coming from the right place,
Yeah.
geolocation, but also that it's being placed by the right person, the actual account holder, biometrics.
I see. So double verification, location and identity.
Precisely. In such a heavily regulated industry, that kind of extra security is really valuable. It makes it even tougher for, fraudsters or underage individuals to misuse the platforms.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but the main takeaway seems crystal clear, this geolocation thing. It's not just some background tech feature. It's absolutely fundamental.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a nice to have. It's a regulatory necessity. Works tirelessly behind the scenes.
Right.
And think about the benefits from all sides. For you, the bettor, it's a safeguard. It guarantees you're betting legally, that the platform is accountable. For the operators, it's the key to compliance, staying licensed, and building that all-important trust and integrity.
And for the regulators.
For them, it's a powerful, indispensable tool. It helps them enforce the laws, combat illegal offshore betting sites, and keep the whole ecosystem relatively clean and monitored.
It really makes you think, though. If knowing where you are is so vital for compliance and trust in this booming online betting world, how might that shape other online services down the road, areas beyond gambling? And what bigger questions does it stir up about our digital lives? Privacy versus regulation, these digital borders, personal responsibility online.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where else does this level of location assurance become necessary or even expected? Definitely something to chew on long after we wrap up this deep dive.